Hello and welcome to the studio online with me, Wayne, in a new series of videos every Wednesday called Ask Wayne, which is me, which is good, all about GCSE. So you send in your questions on a Monday about GCSE English Language and Lit, and then I answer one of them on a Wednesday. Simple. So the first question is from a student who wants to know how to improve her creative writing skills. I don't know her age, but I assume she's referring to like paper one, English language, section B. Now, whether you do AQA or EDUCAS, examining board, you're always going to have a creative writing task. Section A will be the reading questions, and section B will always be the writing. But before we get into like the exam paper and looking at a question, I would say this: if you want to improve your writing, read. Yeah, the two things go together. And why? Well, it's because when you're reading, you are getting a free writing lesson in a way, because you are taking in all that grammar, all that punctuation, all the spelling, all the creativity and the imagery and the adjectives. And it's like a free writing lesson while you're reading. Yeah. I would say read some good stuff. So, yes, read newspapers and magazines, also read a novel, some short stories. But if you want to do well, you should be reading every day. Not long, maybe 20, 30 minutes, but it is a really simple and easy way to get better at writing. And who knows, you might even enjoy it. Okay, so let's share this page now so you can have a look at what I'm having a look at. Is it this one? Let's have a look. Yes, it is. So, first question's from a student who wants to know how to improve her creative writing. As I said, it's probably from paper one, section B. And then this bit of the paper is worth 40 marks, which is an awful lot of your mark. So in this section, you're assessed for the quality of your creative prose writing skills, with the emphasis on creative. So it's fiction, it's not non-fiction, it's fiction, it's made up. It could be a story, it could be a description, depends on the question, but it's all about being creative. So there are 24 marks awarded for communication and organisation, which basically means communication, how well you tell your story, and organisation, paragraphing, structuring. So 24 marks for that, and then 16 marks for all the stuff that people get dodgy about. So vocabulary, sentence structure, spelling, and punctuation. So you might write a brilliant story and you'll score highly in the 24 mark section. But if your sentence structure, spelling, and punctuation isn't correct, then you will lose marks in that bit. So the aim is to get a good mix of the two. It says you should aim to write about 450 to 600 words, which is quite a lot actually, especially when you've just finished doing the reading section. Not much time to plan, but I can tell you now, those people who do plan, even if it's for 5 minutes, do a lot better. That's just the way things are. So a quick plan, even if it's 5 minutes, sorted. So here is the question then. It doesn't really look like a question, it's more of a statement. The race. I kid you not, that is the title that they would like you to write about. The race. Okay. Now, when I first saw that, I do what a lot of students do, which is panic. The race, what type of race? And I was thinking sports day, like in school, that kind of race, or linking to that, the Olympics, maybe that kind of race. That could be good. I could be like an Olympic runner, which is highly improbable, as people would tell you if they knew me. And then I kind of thought, well, hang on, the emphasis here is on being creative. So Let's have a think about it. And I came up with some of these ideas. So, like a space race. Like many years ago, the race against the Russians and the Americans to be the first to put a rocket into the sky. And that's happening this week with Elon Musk. Space X rocket. I bet that isn't running on electricity. And then I thought, well, what about doctors? Like a hospital, a race to save your life, or you could be one of the doctors trying, to save somebody's life. And then I put in the Olympics because it is still a possible kind of answer. Animals. So we have horse racing, we have greyhound racing, which of course we don't agree with, and snails. I'm sure I've seen somewhere on YouTube a fantastic snail race, and that could be quite funny in a way. And then, for those of you more exciting, perhaps an illegal car or a motorbike race where you're being chased by the police. And then I thought Tour de France. That's a very famous bicycle race, if you like. Riding a bike. And then I thought, well, what about a race of aliens? It's a very different kind of race. Yeah. What about a race of aliens? It answers the question, the race. So if you like sci-fi, you could talk about that. But in the end, I decided to go with the kind of stories I like, which are kind of like thriller stories, um, and a race for your life. Yeah, as if you are being chased, perhaps, or stalked in the middle of the night on the way home. And that is something that I kind of like reading about. I don't like doing it, whoa, but kind of like reading stories like that and watching films like that, quite exciting. So that is the kind of thing I was thinking about. Let me just go there and stop that for a moment. Okay, cool. So that's going to be kind of what I'm going to show you next. Yeah. I'm going to show you how I would go about doing a very quick plan for that. And then we're going to talk about some techniques. Okay. Okay. So let's share this page again then. We can share screen. And this one, share. Okay, so you should be able to see that now. So, race for your life. So, a very quick plan. Here we go. What do I need to think about? It's got to be quick. So, things like this. So, the first one, the setting. Where are you going to set it? It's got to be set somewhere. Can't just be set in empty space. I'm going to set mine in school. I'm not a student. I know I look young, but actually, I'm going to be setting myself as a teacher, which is my next one, which is the character. So I'm going to be a teacher, carrying loads of books, probably marking like I always am. Time of day, well, for this, it's got to be night. Yeah, it's got to be night time. Maybe I'm the last one leaving the building. Now, if you're going to do a story like this, you got to ditch the mobile phone, because if your mobile phone works, that's the story ruined. Because if you're being followed by someone, straight away you just get out your phone and go, yeah, it's can I have the police? Yeah, someone's following me. Oh, hang on, he's left now. I'm okay, thanks. Cheers. Or the police arrive and save the day. So mobile phones spoil stories. Get rid of it. Broke, you've left it. Maybe I've left it in school. Maybe it hasn't got charged. Maybe I forgot to bring it this morning. Whatever. You can't have your mobile phone in a suspense story. Okay, why am I here? Well, obviously, I'm a teacher. You might be a pupil if you're doing a similar kind of story. I'm a teacher. I've stayed late marking, and now I'm bringing the rest of it home. But what I want is a good twist for the end. Okay, but there's loads of stories like this where you're being followed in the night. What you need to be thinking about, you might not have the answer at this point when you're in the exam and you're planning, but at the back of your head, just be thinking, I need a twist for this, something that's going to make it stand out, because the examiner's going to be reading tons of these, and he wants to see something creative, something with a twist. Right, okay, so how do we actually start it? Let's have a look. At this, shall we? Right. Okay. So what you should have in your mind is like a toolkit of techniques. Yeah. Things that you can just pull out the bag for creative writing, ready in your mind when you're writing your story. Yeah. So things like adjectives, five senses, that's always a really good way in. So if you're struggling, you sat there, how do I start this thing? Think about the five senses. What can you see? What can you hear? What are you touching? Yeah, think about all five. And then the toolkit grows and it grows, and there's loads of things to think about. Stuff like that. Similes, metaphors, onomatopoeia, bring a bit of sound in there. Your punctuation, etc. But I don't want to worry about those at the moment because I'm struggling to start. So adjectives, describing words, yeah? So I'm going to start with those. Those are quite easy. And the five senses. Okay, so let's come out of that. Back to this one. There's my plan. I've got that written down. I'm ready. And here is one, as they say on Blue Peter, I prepared earlier, but it isn't brilliant. So let's have a look at it. So it was night, and I was one of the last to leave the school building. Carrying my books, I left quickly and headed straight for the car park. I couldn't see a thing in the darkness. It was also freezing. I reached for the keys to my car while surveying the empty car park. Damn it, I thought. I'd left them in my classroom. I rested the heavy pile of marking on top of the car and turned to walk back, only to see the caretaker leaving in his car. That was that then. The school was locked. I was alone. Okay, so that's my first go at it, having a look at my plan, trying to establish the setting and the time of day and stuff like that. And it's okay. The examiner would be quite pleased because you can see that I can use my punctuation and I've got some good sentence structures, some are long, some are short, blah, blah. There's not a lot of description in there though. And really, I've done what everybody does, or almost everybody. Whenever they're asked to describe something, they describe what they can see. Yeah. And that's great, but I'm going to improve this now. I'm going to kind of do it live so you can see how I would do it to try and get in more of the five senses, to try and get in some more description, even if it's just adjectives. Okay, so I'm going to finish this video today. This is part one, by kind of showing you how I would change that. Okay, so first of all, it was night. That's fine, but let's make it a bit more interesting. Yeah, it was the dead of night. Yeah, as soon as I introduce that word dead, yeah, it carries a lot of meaning. Yeah, it was the dead of night, and I was one of the last to leave the school. Well, what school? Is it a modern school? Is it an old school? Is it just been built? I don't know. Is it big, small? So let's give the examiner some idea. Obviously, I'm going to go with this, the old crumbling school building. Yeah, because I'm getting that kind of creepy mansion kind of idea. Carrying my books, heavy. Let's give them something at least. I left quickly and headed straight for the car park. Okay, so would it be more exciting to have a car park that's full of people still leaving, or more where it's empty? Obviously, for my story, the abandoned car park. I couldn't see a thing in the darkness. It was also freezing. Okay, so here is a point where you can get touching. Yeah, if you're saying it's freezing, and let's just get rid of that. Let's put in instead the cold, icy wind was biting into my hands. Yeah, so now we've given the wind a bit of movement, we've got it moving, but more importantly, we've got touching. And also the word biting, Yeah, so you know, it's not just brushing my hand, it's biting. It's quite a physical kind of thing. So already you're starting to build up words like this. Yeah, biting, dead, and all of this is kind of helping to build an atmosphere. So I reached for the keys to my car while surveying the empty car park. Right, I haven't got anything about hearing yet, as far as I can tell. No, I haven't. So I'm going to put it in here. It was eerily. Is that how you spell it? Yes, it is. It was eerily quiet with only. Now, what type of wind, what type of noise can the wind make? A whoosh, yeah, perhaps an eerie whooshing sound, but perhaps more of a whistling. That might be more eerie, with only the whistling of the wind creating an unsettling sound. Does that make sense? It was eerily quiet with only the whistling of the wind creating an unsettling sound. Yes, it does, but the sentence is rather long, so I'm just going to pop that there. An unsettling sound. Damn it, I thought. I'd left them in my classroom. Ooh, just before I get to that, let's just highlight that word. Yeah. Okay, so now we've got dead, we've got biting, we've got eerily. Okay, damn it, I thought I'd left them in my classroom. Okay, I'm happy with that. It's a nice short sentence. I put an exclamation mark on the end. I rested the heavy pile of marking on top of the car, turned to walk back. Oh, walk. Don't like the word walk. So let's change that. A better verb. Turn to stagger back. There we go. That's better verb. Only to see the caretaker leaving in his car. What type of caretaker? Female, male, young, old? I'm not bothered about gender, but I am going to make them old. Oh, yes, I am, because I put his. So obviously, I am bothered about gender. Have that. Yeah. Heavy pile of marking on top of the car and turn to stagger back, only to see the old caretaker leaving in their car. Let's have rickety. We don't know what that means. Look it up. Rickety car. That was that then. I like that. Nice short sentence. The school was locked. Don't like that comma. You can use comma, but instead just give it a longer pause. The school was locked. I was alone. Don't put an ellipsis there at the end of your first paragraph. It's so overused that you definitely don't want to be doing that. Okay. Am I happy with that now? Yes, I think I am. Let's have another read. It was the dead of night, and I was one of the last to leave the old, crumbling school building. Carrying my heavy books, I left quickly and headed straight for the abandoned car park. Couldn't see a thing in the darkness. The cold, icy wind was biting into my hands. I reached for the keys to my car while surveying the empty car park. It was eerily quiet, with only the whistling of the wind creating an unsettling sound. Let's correct that while I'm going. Damn it, I thought. I'd left them in my classroom. I rested the heavy pile of marking on top of the car and turned to stagger back, only to see the old caretaker leaving in their rickety car. That was that then. The school was locked. I was alone. Yes, I like it very much. I like it. Let me just highlight some more words for you. I'll have the word old. I'll have the word crumbling. Yeah. I'll have the word darkness, like that. I'll have the word abandoned. Do I want anything else? I'll have the word unsettling. And of course, I'll have this word. Now, what your examiner is going to know by the end of this, or by the end of mine, is that I am writing in a certain genre, yeah? It's going to be kind of horror, kind of thriller genre. Look at the words that I've chosen. Some of them consciously, some of them unconsciously. What the examiner is also going to know is that I am crafting the word. I am thinking about it as I go, rather than just like having more and getting that like brain vomit. You don't want that, where the whole idea just pours out. You need to pause, you need to think, you need to craft as you do it, yeah? And I'm quite happy with that. As a first kind of paragraph, I haven't got all the senses in, but I've got a couple of the senses in. Did I ever put the hearing in, by the way? Oh, yes, I did. The whistling of the wind. Super. Okay. So let's just go back to here before we finish. Yeah. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Let's try that again, shall we? This one? Yes. Okay. So yes, we've used adjectives. We've started to use the senses. Whistling, not quite, but we're getting there. Yeah. Punctuation, I've used some exclamation marks. Sentence lengths, I've used long ones, short ones. Doesn't really get more complicated. I haven't dealt with that yet. Vocabulary, I'm starting to think about the words. Haven't done any similes. I've done a lot of things on there already, and I've only done my first paragraph, so this is good. Right, okay. Let's stop sharing that. Jolly good, now you can see me. Right, I'm going to end the video there now because I've been whittering on for quite some time. But when you join me next week, I think I'll probably do a part 2 to that, just at least so I can show how you link the paragraphs and move the story forward. So thank you for joining me, and I hope that you will join me again next week on Wednesday night. Keep sending your questions in on the Monday, and thank you very much to the studio online. Okay.